What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Center of the Chaos and Controversy, and I want to touch upon something real quick. And it's something that I, along with others, have noticed when addressing either other content creators who we may disagree with on certain points of views or talking points or whatever debates that may present itself or what have you. And the banter that goes back and forth, the assumptions that are made, all boils down to one common denominator. In this country that we are a part of, born into, identify as, when it comes to saying that we're Americans, okay? We are all granted the rights, the liberties, the freedoms that we hold dear, that we cherish, that we value, okay? Okay? Many of us more so than others because many of us had to fight, had to break down barriers. Ancestors made sacrifices so that our current condition isn't anything like the past condition. Okay? I want to make that point because I don't think that the privileges that we have today are appreciated, more so taken for granted, and more so abused and weaponized to suppress other people. Now, here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. I find it ironic and hypocritical and also interesting when, say, for example, when you see other content creators and you have uh, taken notice that they have a cult following, that they have so many subscribers, and they stick to a particular narrative, repetitive talking points, um, some dangerous rhetoric that they dress it up as trying to make people aware of, but in actuality, it causes division right down the middle. Okay? Um, if we're about unification, if we're about seeing each other as Americans, then we should start conducting ourselves as such. Um, the underlying issues that for years have been conveniently ignored, unaddressed, brushed aside, brought up in the conversation, deflected from, has failed to correct the issues that have been highlighted, been debated, criticized, and what have you. Okay? Now, when I talk about freedoms, when I talk about liberties, it's for all of us to have the right to utilize when it comes to talking to one another, maybe disagreeing with one another or agreeing with each other. But when it gets to a point where particular narratives that are entertained, that are mostly one sided or uh, created to, I don't know, broadcast a certain perspective, condition a mindset, so to speak, to promote a particular outlook on either a group or a situation or a subject matter, then it's a problem because if you aren't willing to allow any outside input to challenge you and you're shutting other people's point of views down, then How are you any different from other countries that you criticize that say, "Oh, you're a communist," or "You're like this," or "You're like that"? Oh, I'm glad to be American because I refuse to be silenced. I have the right to say what I want to say, and that's cool. But by that same attitude, that right that you are so strong and standing steadfast to defend, why are you so adamant about preventing others from sharing that same right? Or if they don't agree with you, you want to make them out to be something other than what they are. And then we're quick to want to throw labels on somebody. We're quick to want to call them this. We're quick to want to call them that, or whatever the case may be, because they don't share your same point of view. Because they don't always agree with you. Because it's more of a do as I say, not as I do. I could criticize you, but you come at me, oh, it's gonna be a problem. And I'm sure I could use examples of uh, Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum, and you know, and you can see where the emotion and the anger lies when they are challenged, when people come at them, but they say nothing whenever their followers or their subscribers or their fan base targets other people who don't share their same point of views, who don't always agree with them, or they go on the attack, or they're quick to want to, I don't know, be condescending towards other people. But when you use those same behaviors against them, as Brandon Tatum said, because he loved to want to show his ignorant side, he loved to want to flex, he loved to want to come in the defense of his sister Candace Owens, uh, to say, you come after us, it's going to be a problem. You come after us, that's going to be a big mistake. Come after you. Is anyone coming to your house threatening the lives of you or your kids or your family? No. What do you mean coming after you? Having a difference of an opinion? Not always agreeing with you? You guys sitting back laughing when other content creators who say anything against you start losing subscribers? Because people believe that everything out your mouth and what you spew is fact. I mean, I'm saying from from race to politics to religion, Brandon Tatum has basically said, nope, that's false. Nope, that ain't a fact. That never happened. No, that's not what that means. Nope, that's not what that stands for. Oh, nope. And I really didn't want to make this about a Brandon Tatum or a Candace Owens or ABL or a Hodge Twins video. But I noticed is that you have a right to agree to disagree. But God forbid, if you say anything against, God forbid if you don't agree with, God forbid if you have, if you think solely on your own, if you decide to challenge a particular narrative or a one-sided perspective on things, and then the consequences of that is that you lose followers. because you simply disagreed with somebody. But then again, let's flip the script. Let's flip the script. Say whatever I say or my fan base started to grow. Okay. And I always make this a point, and I'm emphasizing this. I don't always want people to agree with what I say. If people are always entertaining what I say to be the truth, to what I say to be fact, or whatever opinions I might share to be 100% correct, and I'm not challenged or nobody gives me some feedback or their input saying, you know what, Tony, I hear you, however, or Tony, you know what, I don't agree with you on that. And here's why. You know, I keep an open mind about things. I don't conveniently shut people out just because I want to fucking hear myself talk. I can't learn and grow if I'm always self absorbed in my own bullshit. Okay? None of us can grow beyond where we are at if we remain stagnant, complacent, comfortable in our position, whether it be in our point of views or beliefs. Our attitudes. And the thing is, not enough people are humble. You know, people feel like they have this entitlement issue. You know what I'm saying? And they run with it. I mean, they run with it. I think there's drama upstairs, up the street. Eh, Anyway, but it's this entitlement issue that we all seem to have, and I don't know. But but moving on from that, I've read a lot of comments, and I appreciate people responding to my videos. I appreciate people giving their input. I appreciate people, whether they agree or disagree with me on whatever it is, the content that I put out under my channel. Um, I appreciate you know letting me know where they stand, where they're coming from. You know, I'm not sitting here getting triggered. I'm not sitting here getting all emotionally invested or involved with somebody saying, Tony, I don't agree with you. Or maybe, Tony, I'm upset with um, what you said in this video. Or, you know what? I hear you, brother, but where are the solutions? And you know what? I've been saying that too. There's a lot of complaints that are being put on the table, but when we get up from that table and walk away, no solutions have been, presented to correct whatever issue or problem that we address. And that's a problem. Um, people ask me, uh, what do you think? What do you think when it comes to, let's say, the black communities? And if you are triggered or feel some kind of way when the rebuttals of the what about the black on black crime pops up in the conversation, instead of getting mad or feeling some kind of way or getting triggered, what do you feel is the solution to the black on black crime? I said, well, I believe if certain agencies weren't responsible for allowing a lot of the drugs and contraband to come into this country, that would eliminate half the problem right then and there. There wouldn't be a war on drugs. But then again, you have the opioid crisis where you have like pharmaceutical companies that create these opioids, these painkillers or whatever the case may be, that people can go and create their own drugs here in America. Drugs don't have to come from Mexico or Cuba or fucking Vietnam or China or wherever the case may be, as far as heroin goes or coke or what have you. We create drugs here in this country, and people have been addicted to it. A lot of people have died from it, So, and then inconveniently, laws were put into place to penalize people who are addicts. Forget about the people who sell the drugs, because what happens is, for most of them, uh, they're replaceable. Okay, take one off the street, another one pops up. Okay, but the ones that's mostly affected by them, and I say this because people don't grasp the concept. You have but a handful of drug dealers, right? You got the suppliers, okay, um, and they have a great clientele, which are the addicts. There are more addicts than there are dealers. So the problem lies when you're sitting there making these legislations, these laws, or whatever, to go after the addicts and not the dealers or the ones that's supplying the dealers. But part of the problem is when you stand to gain profit, do you not think that people look the other way that are in key positions? Do you not think that people build a system around the whole drug situation for the fact that we have all these crime bills? Why there's these sentencings that when you get caught with so much drugs or paraphernalia, why the sentencing is harsher on you as being a non-violent offender, but an addict versus somebody that can go kill somebody? So you mean to tell me a person's life ain't worth shit, and you can basically kill somebody and get, I don't know, 5, 10 years, but for fucking having drugs, you're getting what, 20, 30? Some people even got fucking life for having drugs. Um, also, also, uh, another thing would be getting involved with the community. Having more resources, things for kids to apply themselves to, as far as like education, activities, having a foundation in regards to learning how to respect people and themselves. I know a lot of arguments is based around fatherless homes and things like that. And I'm saying, we can use that to say that's the reason, but is that the only factor that plays into why there's so much crime that goes on in inner city or impoverished neighborhoods and what have you? No. Guidance. Because basically what you're saying is that even though a father isn't present in the household, that the mothers ain't doing their job. And damn, I wish I highlighted the person's name who made a comment about her distaste for Brandon Tatum because of how he speaks about black women. And this is a good video to touch upon that. Now, perception is everything. Just because you have an opinion based on particular experiences, it doesn't paint a broad brush to generalize everyone based on your experience. You see what I'm saying? So, and I understood where this person was coming from, and I appreciate you giving me your input on that. But being humble and giving credibility to what you said, I'm going to address that. Are there some ratchet ass, ghetto-fied, ignorant ass black women? Yes, there are. Are there ignorant ass, uncivilized white women? Yes. Are there crazy ass, out of control Latina women? Absolutely. And I'm just highlighting those three ethnic groups just to make a point. Now, on the flip side of that coin, are there black women that are successful, have a college degree, work as nurses, work in offices, are real estate agents, are teachers, doctors, judges, prosecutors, lawyers, have their own business, maybe own their own hair salons? Um, Actually drive rigs. But what's funny is that and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So since this person pointed out Brandon Tatum's distaste for black women, so to speak, um, there are plenty of productive black women that don't act ignorant. My only complaint about some of those successful black women, hear me when I say this, some of those successful black women, not all, because not all are going to give you the time of day or waste their time on on a lost cause, so to speak. Okay, but here's what I saw when I moved to Houston, and I've engaged with some successful black women, fine as all hell, most of which who had their own car, had a good job, had their own home, their own house, decided to entertain these hood niggas. The hood niggas that would not have a job, the hood niggas that fucking sat on their ass all day. When the girl goes to work, or the woman, I should say, goes to work, take their car to go entertain other bitches. Okay? Bring home whatever. Because, you know, if you out there entertaining other insignificant whatever, then, you know, you're not taking care of yourself. And if you're not taking care of yourself, then you're possibly putting other people at risk. Okay? So, you have these successful black women that take in street trash, so to speak, who in returns go back out and entertain other street trash. That's where I saw the problem, where the problem lies. Now, some people, in some cases, appreciate a successful black woman that brings them in, teaches them how to better themselves, dress them up, you know, show them something different, and actually like tell them that, or basically show them their worth. And you got some brothers that are appreciative of those women that took them out of a fucked up situation, and they didn't take for granted that, or they didn't take that woman for granted, so to speak. But that's not in every case, though. And I'm not saying that's just for black women. That's for any other woman, with any other male, or whatever the case may be. Um, I guess they call them charity cases, so to speak. But yeah. But and I can also say this. This is an example based on my own personal experience. So I want people to understand this. When I said that I moved out of Hartford, Connecticut, and I ended up moving to Colchester, and there's these like sub towns that surround Colchester, like Hebron or whatever, or Avon and whatever. My daughter's mother, she's from Hebron. Now, it's a predominant white area. So her background is she's French and Italian. Um, she was going to college when I met her. She had a good job working with disabled kids. Now, where we fell out at is one, she loved dropping the N bomb. Two, she cheated on me. Okay? And when we broke apart and I went my way and she went her way, she decided to get involved with Negroes that were of the stereotypical, you know, what I'm saying. So when she went from just using the dropping the N bomb to insult somebody, it went from that to now it's just nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that, nigga this. And my son's mother, who don't talk like that, had one conversation with her and said, I don't see how the hell you got with her. I don't. Because she just turned me off by how she spoke. Why is it that some white women feel that when they are in a relationship with black people or black men or whatever, they feel like they got to change their whole persona and start talking a particular way? She goes, I don't talk like that. I said, I know you don't. She don't even like the fact that the N-word is used around our son. And I know I was conditioned to, through the music that I was listening to and what have you, that I had to tone down or try to eliminate the N word out of my vocabulary. It's called growth. Um, and I respected that, and I respected her for that. Um, but my daughter's mom, she's very disrespectful. Very just now, she's white. So I laugh when Brandon Tatum sits there and want to hold a particular group up on a pedestal and look down. And I can tell you right now, okay, that's cool for you to do that. You have that right to have that perception, but it isn't 100% correct. That's why I talk about bringing balance. Don't sit there and try to dress something up as one way when anybody with some kind of sense can say, hold up, okay, that's cool that maybe in your experiences that, hey, things are good for you as far as how that went. But for others, it isn't the case. And that's the thing. A lot of us, including myself, always apply our experience as overall facts. And that is and that's not always can be applied as everybody else's experiences or what has been known to be true. I'm just saying. So it's a responsibility on us, content creators, on some of the information that we put out there. If we put information out there, you got to be careful on how you address it. Because one person said it like this. There's another person who responded under one of my videos. He said a lot of the shit that Brandon Tatum talks about is dangerous because that shit can cause people to have a particular mindset and go out and start attacking people. And you want to know something that's funny? I mean, it's not funny, but what stands to be true is his followers have done that to the Amazing Lucas, have done that to Ricky Manor. They have yet to do it to me, but I'm not at the point where I'm that much of a great influence. I'm just a peon at this point, okay? But you have a responsibility as a content creator to respect others, even if they don't agree with you, even if you feel that they aren't being respectful to you. Everybody points out how he went off on Hotep Jesus, how he threatened to want to whoop his ass, but he's so Christian-like. He's all about forgiveness. He's all about Jesus. But you can't understand the Holy Trinity. I know about the Holy Trinity. I went to private schools. We had to learn religion. Sisters were our teachers that taught me in the classroom. We had to go to mass. But, and that's what I'm talking about. When people choose certain individuals to idolize and want to follow, be careful because they might lead you in the wrong direction. Be careful because they might lead you in the wrong direction. But again, as I bring this to a close, we take for granted a lot of the things as far as our freedoms go, as far as our liberties go. And the sense of entitlement of how in this country, it's not just some of us are granted the rights to have an opinion. to free speech, to agree or disagree. And it should be without consequence. It should be without consequence, because you can't say something is free, or we are awarded these rights and we go to utilize those rights, and then there's consequences that follow it. And I know people are going to throw semantics out at me and say, well, okay, you do have the right to do this, but there's consequences to that. I mean, I understand that, and I understand the responsibility behind it. But if that's what you're going to throw back at me, then you should tell these other people that with their rhetoric, hey, because anything that I say, perfect example. If I sit here and talk about Candace Owens, if I sit here and talk about Brandon Tatum, if I sit here and talk about ABL, if I sit here and talk about the Hodge twins, and say if I have a group of followers, I'm not telling them to go discredit their channel. I'm not telling them to shut them down. I'm not telling them to go take extreme measures to get them banned, like Bryson did. Bryson is another one that's good for doing that shit. I've heard about him. And again, like I said, sometimes when it comes to these channels like YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or whatever, you guys need to have some mediator that can intercept when people are being vindictive and actually review the content that people are disputing. Because if you just come up and tell me, oh, this person said this, I don't like it. Well, if it's my responsibility as working for YouTube or TikTok or Facebook, I have to do my due diligence and look to see if there's validation in the complaint. If it's just some petty ass asinine bullshit, I'ma discard it and be like, keep it moving. Fuck all that shit. Now you just being childish. But I understand, because a lot of us adults have childlike minds. It's unfortunate, but it's true. But anyway, that's all I got for my rant. I'm at 37, 44, 45. Get it to 40, get to 38. Anyway, until next time, until next video, please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.